So today we are starting a new chapter, cell. Okay, the basic unit of life. The basic unit of life. If you look around, you see both living and non-living things. Okay, but what is it that makes an organism living?
Cell.
Yes, cell is the basic unit of life. Cell is the basic unit, basic, or we can say simplest. Cell is the simplest unit of life. Okay, all living organisms are made up of cells. All living organisms which you see are made up of cells. Yes. Okay, so if they are made up of single cell, they are known as unicellular organism. If they are made up of single cell, then they are known as unicellular. Uni means what? Uni means
One.
single, one. Yes, uni means one. So they are known as unicellular organism. But if they are made up of multiple cells, if they are made up of many cells, then they are known as multicellular organisms. Multi means many. Okay, many multicellular organisms. But all living organisms are made up of cells. Who made the first observation on cell? Who made the first observation? The person known as Robert Hooke. Okay?
Robert Hooke.
Robert Hooke. Yes, Robert Hooke in 1665, in the year 1665, what he observed? He observed tiny, small, tiny, hollow means which is empty inside. Okay, hollow room-like structure in the thin slice of cork. In the thin slice of cork. What is cork? The dead bark of tree. When you cut a tree, the dead bark which you observe, that is known as cork cell. Okay. So what he observed? He observed tiny hollow room-like structure in the thin slice of cork through a microscope. Which was designed by himself. Okay, which was designed by Robert Hooke. He named them as cells. He termed them as cells. Where does this word derive from? Where does this word derive from? Where does this word came from? Cell. What is the meaning of cell? Cell comes from the Latin word. Cell derived from the Latin word known as cellula. Known as cellula. Cellula means, what is the meaning of cellula? Which means prisons rooms. Which means prisons rooms. The small tiny rooms, hollow rooms, they are known as cellula. Okay, what he observed under the microscope? He observed only the outer cell wall, because the cell was dead, so he can't observe inside the cell. All the parts are dead, so only he observed only the outer cell wall. Okay, he observed only outer cell wall. Okay, now discovery of cells. Who discovered the cell? Anton von Leeuwenhoek. What is the name of the person?
Anton von Leeuwenhoek.
Yes, Anton von Leeuwenhoek. He observed first living cell. Okay, he observed first animal-like cells. Animal-like cell. So he named them as animalcules. What does he name? Animalcules, right? Animalcules, because he observed first animal-like cell, so he named them as animalcules. Okay. Now the another most important person, Malthus Schleiden. Malthus Schleiden is a German botanist. He is a German botanist. 1804 to 1881. Okay, in the year 1838, In the year 1838, Schleiden concluded that all plants are made up of cells. All plants are made up of cells. Because plants are living, so they are made up of cells. Okay. In the year 1839, another scientist, another British zoologist concluded that all animals are made up of cells. What does Schleiden concluded? Schleiden concluded that all plants are made up of cells, and in the year 1839, a British zoologist, Theodore Schwann, concluded that all animals are made up of cells. Yes, right. Okay. Theodore Schwann also reported that animal cells had a thin outer layer. Okay. Animal cells had a thin outer layer known as
cell wall.
No. The thin outer layer known
Plasma.
as plasma membrane. Yes, right. Animal cells do not contain cell wall. Only plant cells contain cell wall. Theodore Schwann concluded that all plants has a unique character of cell wall. Only plants have cell wall. Animal cells contain an outer thin layer known as plasma membrane. Yes. We can draw animal cells and plant cells. Animal cells is like this. Outer thin layer is known as plasma membrane. Inside we can make nucleus, cytoplasm, and another organelles like mitochondria, ribosomes, Golgi bodies. Okay, this is known as animal cell. And in plant cells, the cell membrane is surrounded by cell wall. The cell membrane is surrounded by, because the outer layer of plant cells is cell wall. Okay, and inside we can make large central vacuole, nucleus, and another organelles like chloroplast. So this is known as plant cell. Plant cell. This is known as plant cell. Now you can know the difference between plant cell and animal cell. There is no Now you can know the difference between plant cell and animal cell. Schleiden and Schwann together gave cell theory. But the drawback of this cell theory is that they do not explain how the new cells were formed. They did not explain this fact that how the new cells were formed. Okay, we know the cells are present. Okay, but where does this new cells came from? So the person named as Rudolf Virchow in 1858, what he does, he expanded the cell theory and modified it by saying that omnis cellula e cellula. Now you must be thinking, what does the statement mean? Omnis cellula e cellula. Omnis means the something which is present everywhere. What is present everywhere? Cell is present everywhere. So he concluded that cells arise from pre-existing cells. The cells which is already present, they divide and form new cells. Like this is a cell. Okay, this cell divide and form two daughter cells. Okay, so the cell which is already existed, this cell make new cells. So what is the meaning of this statement, omnis cellula e cellula? That cells arise from pre-existing cells. Okay. Now the cell theory, we can say that cell theory can be stated as the first point, that cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Okay, cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. All living organisms are made up of cells. All living organisms are made up of cells. And the third statement, most important statement, is that the cells arise from pre-existing cells. Cells arise from pre-existing cells. Group of cells like this, 1 2 3 4 5. Group of cells group of specialized cells which perform a particular function, they are known as tissue. Now they are known as tissue. Okay, and this tissue, known as, when tissue came together to perform a particular function, they are now known as organ. And when all the organs together work as a system, they are known as organ system. An organ system is present in
Body.
living organism. Okay, we are living organism, we have an organ system. We have organ for digestion, for respiration, for heart. Study of tissues known as histology. Study of tissues is known as histology. This is an extra important point. Okay. Now we can classify living organism on the basis of number. Living organism can either be unicellular or they can either be multicellular. In unicellular organisms, they perform all functions. Like digestion, respiration only by a single cell, because there is a presence of only single cell. So all the functions are also performed by this single cell. But in multicellular organism, they comprise of group of cells, specialized group of cells known as tissue. We have already studied here. Okay. So they comprise of specialized group of cells known as tissue, which perform a particular function. The example of unicellular organisms are paramecium, amoeba, bacteria, euglena, etc. One most important thing about euglena. Do you know what the most important thing about euglena? Euglena is a connecting link between plant and animals. How? Because in the presence of sunlight, it makes its own food, but in the absence of sunlight, it obtains food from others. Okay? So this is how euglena is a connecting link between plants and animals. Okay, one more thing. There is no division of labor in the unicellular organism. What is division of labor? Like in our body, lungs perform respiration. Okay. Our stomach or intestine perform digestion. Okay. blood perform circulation. This happens in our body. We have divided the work. Okay, lungs performs respiration, like stomach, intestine perform digestion. We have divided the work. But in unicellular organism, only single cell, there is a presence of single cell. So that single cell has to do all the functions like respiration, digestion, circulation, everything. So in unicellular organism, single cell has to do all its work. Okay, so we can say that there is no division of labor. They have not divided the work. But in multicellular organisms, we know that in multicellular organism there is a presence of division of labor. We have divided the work. Okay, so this is how we can classify living organism on the basis of number. Examples of multicellular organisms are plants, animals, fungi, okay, and human. Okay, so this is how we can classify living organisms on the basis of number. Okay.